Okay, when you hear the name Lucille Ball, what's the first thing you think of? Laughter, right? I mean, she's an absolute titan of comedy, a name that's basically synonymous with television. But there's so much more to her story. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the iconic redhead and uncover a story of business genius and sheer power that didn't just entertain us, it completely rewrote the rules of Hollywood.
Yeah, for millions of us, this is the face. It's Lucy Ricardo, of course, that endlessly charming, kinda wacky, hilariously scheming housewife from I Love Lucy. She absolutely dominated TV in the 50s, and let's be honest, she still makes us laugh in reruns all over the world today.
And that's the real kicker, isn't it? Because behind that comedic genius was this trailblazing executive, a total mogul. Her decisions didn't just create a hit show, they literally built the television industry as we know it today. You could even say her greatest performance wasn't on screen at all. It was in the boardroom. So before she became the Lucy we all know and love, her path to the top was, well, anything but easy. It was a long, tough grind. This wasn't some lucky break. Her stardom was absolutely earned, every single step of the way. I mean, just look at this journey. She starts as a model way back in 1929. Then she spends a whole decade as just another contract player at a studio. It takes almost 20 years, before she gets that radio role that would eventually become I Love Lucy. This was the opposite of overnight success. We're talking pure, relentless persistence. You know, during her time at RKO Pictures, the Hollywood insiders actually had a nickname for her. They called her the Queen of the Bees. And trust me, that was not a compliment. It meant she was the go-to star for all the low-budget B movies, not the big, prestigious A-list pictures. She was seen as dependable, sure, but definitely not a top-tier star. And this quote, wow, it just says it all, doesn't it? It tells you everything about the kind of criticism she was up against. Her own drama school teachers told her she just didn't have what it takes. But that kind of doubt? It didn't stop her. It fueled her. And that fighting spirit, that tenacity, would turn out to be her greatest asset. So, when she finally got her big shot on television, she didn't just want to star in a show. Oh no. She and her husband, the brilliant Desi Arnaz, they grabbed that opportunity and decided to reinvent the entire medium from the ground up. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. You've got this huge standoff with the network, CBS. The network wants it done their way. Live from New York, recorded on this fuzzy low-quality film called a kinescope for everyone else. But Lucy and Desi, they said no way. They wanted to film it in Hollywood. They actually took a pay cut to get their way, but in exchange, they asked for one thing that would change everything. Their company, Desilu, would own the show, all of it. And see, this wasn't just about business. It was about making a better show. Desilu was the first to use 3 cameras filming in front of a live audience. That's how they captured that incredible energy, like you were watching a live play. And because they owned those beautiful, high-quality film prints, Desi Arnaz had this genius idea. Why not sell them to be aired again and again? And just like that, they invented the television rerun and created a revenue stream that literally never existed before. And people went absolutely crazy for it. I mean, to put it in perspective for you, a staggering 44 million people tuned in to watch the episode where Lucy Ricardo has her baby, little Ricky. Get this, that was more people than watched the actual inauguration of President Eisenhower the very next day. It was a cultural phenomenon. So, when you boil it all down, by insisting on 2 things, quality and ownership, Lucy and Desi did way more than just make a hit show. They created a permanent, incredibly valuable asset that's still making money today. And by doing that, they completely changed the entire business of television. Forever. But the story is far from over. In fact, you could say it's just getting started. Because after I Love Lucy and after her divorce from Desi, Lucille Ball was about to step into her most powerful and probably least known role ever. The year is 1962. And this is a huge moment. Not just for Lucy, but for the entire entertainment industry. This is the year she bought out all of Desi's shares in their company, Desilu Productions. She became the one and only person in charge. Now just let that sink in for a second. In 1962, Lucille Ball became the very first woman to run a major Hollywood studio.
That made her, without a doubt, one of the most powerful people in all of entertainment. Period.
And here you have the great paradox of Lucille Ball's career, right? To the public, she was still the lovable, goofy comedian. But behind the scenes, this powerful executive was making legendary calls. As the head of Desilu, she greenlit shows you definitely know, like The Untouchables and Mission Impossible. And maybe most famously, she saved a little science fiction show that every other studio had passed on. You might have heard of it. It was called Star Trek.
Her business smarts were just off the charts. So, in 1967, after running the studio for 5 years, she sold Desilu. The price? A cool $17 million. In today's money, that's over $160 million. The woman they once called the Queen of the Bees had officially become a Hollywood titan. So, when you look back at her entire career, it's so clear that her legacy is about so much more than just one character, as beloved as that character is.
I mean, her contributions were so huge that she's one of a very small group of people to have 2 different stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, one for her work in film, and this one for totally and completely revolutionizing the world of television. And the list of honors, well, it just speaks for itself. We're talking 5 Emmy Awards, she was a Kennedy Center honoree, inducted into the Television Hall of Fame, and she was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest honor a civilian can receive in the U.S.
So the next time you catch an I Love Lucy rerun, I hope you'll remember the whole story. Remember that determined actress they called the Queen of the Bees. Remember the brilliant producer who literally invented the sitcom as we know it. And remember the trailblazing mogul who ran her own studio. She wasn't just Lucy. She was an absolute force of nature who broke all the rules and completely redefined what was possible for a woman in Hollywood. So the only question left is, which Lucille Ball will you remember?